This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, this is Alex, and we're here until midnight tonight on the Ramble. Yes, and here I am. Oh, wait a minute, gotta do this. There we go, turn on the lights. I always forget to do something these days because I'm getting old, okay? Anyway, turn on the lights. I had a big problem tonight. Well, I'll explain it to Phil, because Phil's on with us now. He does this every Tuesday night. We inflict him upon you. Let me see here if I can figure out how to bring him up. There we go. There you go. Hello, Phil. How are you? You're in Washington tonight, huh?
Yeah, well, I figure Biden's not there. He's always on vacation. So
what do you mean he's on vacation? How's he on vacation?
He's hiding at Camp David.
No, he's not.
Yeah?
No. Do you know where he was today?
No. Where was he today?
New Jersey and New York. Looking at the flood damage.
Yeah, but he doesn't know. Didn't he say that that there's no more tornadoes? They call them something else, or they're in Iowa. He didn't know where he was.
No. Why can't you just give him a little credit for something?
What?
I mean, I was giving Marjorie a bad time today about Biden by saying that, he could do better off by staying in Washington and getting some, money passed so these people can get their lives back in order. But instead, he's down there taking photo opportunities with Chuck Schumer and our governor, what's her name? I can't remember her name.
Hokum or something. Hokum.
Hokum. Yeah, something like that.
You grow up with a name like that, you really have to fight as a kid.
Well, I don't know what I forget her name. I really do. And I'm afraid because I'm going to go to my neurologist. He's going to ask me again, who's the governor of the state of New York, and I don't even know her name. I'm sorry, I can't remember it.
Yeah, it's like Hokey or Hokum.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And she lost me the minute she said, "Well, I'm not going to rule the state by press conference."
Yeah. Why, you like the press conferences?
Well, yeah, I love those press conferences. Love them.
All right. There's some other stuff.
Well, let's. Do we have to get into it immediately?
Yeah, Shona Tova. What year is this in the Jewish calendar?
I don't know. We Jews live in the future.
Yeah.
We're like a Marvel superhero. We all live in the future. 5782, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because the rabbi gave me a calendar last night.
Mm-hmm.
I belong to a group that supplies
muscles.
Safety to Chabads and synagogues and churches, so pray in peace without having to worry that their doors are going to be breached by bad guys.
Well, were they?
No.
Okay.
The only bad guys at the door were me.
Yeah. So, but you got a free calendar, huh?
I got a free calendar.
I see.
Yeah, I didn't get home till like 11 o'clock last night. I was tired.
Problem with the Jewish New Year is that I keep still writing 5781 on my checks.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you owed $57.81.
Something like that. Yeah. So anyway, today was a shitty day. God damn it. You know what I do? I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. Okay? Let me explain this.
I mean, that goes hand in hand.
You're going to go ahead with the whole idea that I'm a moron, but I am. And I'm going to tell you why I'm a moron. Okay. So I have on my computer here, my Mac, it's still Mojave. It's still 2 operating systems earlier. Okay.
Which Mac is it?
It's the Mac Pro.
Oh, it's not the Mac Mini or any of those.
No, no, no. But I could have put but they're already up to Big Sur. All right.
Yeah. Let's see. What do I have? About this Mac. I have Big Sur 11.5.2.
Well, the reason I have never gone to Big Sur
Yeah.
is that everything works all right here.
Right.
All right? Everything works all right here. And if I go to Big Sur, it's going to take me weeks before I get the whole thing sorted out right. You know?
Well, it's been a while, so some of the things that don't work when you first convert
Right, right.
working by now.
Yeah, that's like being Jewish. But anyway, so today I figure, I haven't upgraded the latest. They got a new Netscape, which I don't care about really.
Netscape?
Not Netscape. But what's the thing? It's Safari.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what they have. They had an upgrade on that. I didn't care about that, but they didn't have an upgrade on the security system. So I figured, what the hell? I'm not going to upgrade to Big Sur, but I'm going to upgrade those two little things. Okay. So I'm just going to, to begin with Macs. Let me tell you this, folks. They take forever to upgrade. It could be a minor upgrade, like just some, security issues and an upgrade to Safari. And how long does it take? An hour. You
got to do this upgrade. Did you upgrade your MySpace?
What?
MySpace. Did you upgrade MySpace?
No.
No?
No.
Still using the old one?
Yeah. Anyway, point was that I upgraded those two very simple things, but they take forever. So I go to the other room and they come back. And I have a thing here called a Stream Deck. This is the thing that I use to change the picture like that, folks. See, I just with the push of a button, okay? And I have certain buttons here. I have a button for the panel, which you're on right now. I have one for video 1, 2, and 3, and I have split screen and a couple other things here. All
You're
right?
doing with a program, not with a mechanical.
No, it's It's not It's mechanical. These are these are tactile buttons that I hit. Okay, and they're all lit up with the various things that I want to have lit up, and it looks good. Okay, I start all my stuff with it and so on. Well, I upgrade, and I come back, and the thing doesn't work. The Stream Deck is deader than a doornail. All it shows me is I have a picture I've put on there when it's not running. Okay.
You didn't upgrade to Big Sur. You just upgraded.
No, I just upgraded two simple little programs: Safari, an upgrade to Safari, and an upgrade to But anyway, it doesn't work.
Now because you don't have Big Sur.
So now I have to call the Stream Deck people. And they have no idea what it is. So then they send me something that I put on, and it makes up a program that does a reading for them so they can look at everything when I mail it back to them. Right. And it's all this, right? And I can't get that to work. And then my cameras here aren't working. This used to be camera 2. Rather, oh wait a minute, that is camera. This used to be camera 2, and this is camera 1. Anyway, they reversed themselves, and I had a hard time getting those back online. I mean, and then all of a sudden, the Stream Deck starts lighting up again. It was just a clusterfuck here, and I was getting ready to say, look, I'm not going to do a show tonight. I don't need to do a show tonight. I'd rather just take the night off and not worry about any of this crap.
You considered that Marjorie is going into the back of the computer and switching USBs in the back just to mess with you?
I don't think so. No.
Don't put it past her.
Yeah, but anyway, so now where this used to be, the what do you call it, camera, the just live camera, and this one over here, which you can't see, was uh, what do you call it? Zoom camera. So, all these things. And I just went through. This took me like 2 hours to solve. And part of it solved itself. All of a sudden, this thing goes on. It was like it was probably tapping its foot, waiting to go on until I was so irritated that it went, okay, now we can go on.
Finish the install.
Huh?
Maybe it finished the install and
no, the install was finished. When you come back to full running, but it threw everything off. It threw the cameras off. It threw and then I got to reset the cameras so that they, they're right, so they don't overflow here. Otherwise, you get too much at the back of the room there. See?
Well, I had a similar thing happen with my phone system.
Yeah.
Well, I have a voice over IP phone at the store, and everybody's voicemail worked fine except mine. People would call and they get this recording that said, or an announcement that said, enter the code to leave a voicemail. People would say code. And so finally I had my friend who's very computer savvy call up Verizon, work it out, and they fixed it. Then my friends are telling me that the voicemail on my cell phone, which is also Verizon, was doing the same thing. So today he had to fix that. You know how they fixed it?
Huh.
They said, take the SIM card out, then put it back in and start the phone again. That's what it took to get my voicemail back.
I'm getting too old for this stuff, I think. I think that's what it is. I'm just getting too old for it, and maybe it's time for me to cash it in.
Complicated,
Huh?
I mean, you've set up a television studio rather than just a podcast with some video. It's pretty complicated, and the more sticks or matchbooks that you stack on one another, the easier it is for them.
It's like a big game of Jenga.
Right, exactly.
But it's just I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of the show, I think. I'm tired of the fact that, we got 27 people watching right now. What's that? Am I doing a show for 27 people?
Well,
is that it?
That might have been what the Sirius show was. It might have been 22 people.
Well, we never know it's Sirius. You can't tell.
Right.
I mean, Howard assumes he has millions listening to him, and it may just be 30.
Making millions. I'm sure he has a pretty decent sized audience.
Oh, sure.
But he's broadcasting worldwide. They're paying him a lot of money. Oh, talking about a lot of money, Rachel Maddow.
30 million.
Well, I know that, but I just heard a report and I didn't hear the whole thing. Maybe you did. That I guess they reported incorrectly. Is she not getting 30 million? Was that a hoax or?
I don't know. Let me look at my. Let me look at.
I didn't hear the whole story, but I heard there was
Maddow
an issue over the reporting on this Rachel Maddow money.
Okay, here it is. Net worth. No. How rich is Rachel Maddow? Who are the highest paid news anchors? What is Rachel Maddow's salary?
This was
MSNBC to pay Rachel Maddow $30 million a year. It doesn't say anything about her not getting $30 million a year.
Well, I only I heard it in the periphery.
No, all they said is she's going to work less.
Oh.
To make more. Yeah.
Well, that's the American way.
I guess so. Is she worth it?
To some, I guess the MSNBC, they don't have a lot of talent. Why do you think that she was going to get offers elsewhere, or that
it may have been to keep her from going somewhere else?
Yeah.
That could have well been the deal. What made her worth that kind of money? What made her worth that kind of money is maybe somebody else wanted her and were willing to pay her a lot of money, so they paid her an equal amount of money to keep her.
It's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah. I don't know that her ratings beat out Hannity or those people.
I heard that Gutfield was beating out, this is a Fox guy, and not a very good or interesting commentator, but his show was beating out all the nighttime shows. I don't watch the nighttime shows anymore since Johnny Carson left. But
Well, Johnny Carson every night used to have 30 million people watching him.
had me.
Yeah. Do you know how many people watch the Tonight Show now?
Not very many because Gutfield is beating them
Yeah,
out.
well, 2 million.
Wow.
Yeah, about 2 million.
Have you ever seen that Greg Gutfield show?
I think he's the guy who did their comedy show.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there was that comedy show. I heard of him, but I never heard of tons of people watching him,
But what I heard, or I don't know exactly where, that the Gutfield has more viewers than any of the late night shows. So Tonight
Well,
Show.
that could well be Fox putting out that message, and it's not necessarily true.
I don't know if I heard it on Fox or some other thing. It was probably Fox.
Well, what's his name again?
Greg Gutfield.
Just G-U-T-F-I-E-L-D.
Field.
Whoops, that's not what I wanted. What happened here? Damn you! I can't. Everything goes wrong with me today. It's just getting to me. It's getting to me. Let me see here.
100 degrees out here.
Gutfield. Okay.
First of Greg.
Oh, Gutfield ratings. Okay. Audience summary. Gutfield ratings, reviews. I don't know where this is or where it came from. But Fox Channel scores 94 of the top 100 cable telecasts. I don't know. Gutfield scores 22,000 more viewers. He's now the new king of late night television after scores of 220K more than viewers in Colbert's Late Show.
Yeah. And, Gutfield is not that entertaining.
It could be that he follows, like the other guys.
Hannity?
Hannity, yeah. And he gets a spillover audience because I think Hannity's audience is bigger than 220.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he may just be, getting the spillover. That's possible.
It was interesting that he was that his ratings were that high because the commercials that I watch on Fox now, it used to be a little bit more mainstream. Now you don't have the My Pillow guy, but you do have these vitamins where you get fruits and vegetables, and they're bombarding you with that. There's a couple of national things, not much, but for the most part, it's fruits and vegetables or gold and silver and a few other things. But I don't see the advertising that they used to get.
Yeah.
You know.
But I just got my chat in the wrong place. Pop out chat, participants, time in. I don't get it. All of this is just, it's all screwing up on me. You know.
Yeah. Going to come up with something new, and if you are,
me, am I going to come up with something new? No, I might just stop.
Yeah. Then what are you going to do?
Nothing.
You got all that equipment. You're going to do nothing with it?
Yeah, right. Sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get rid of it. Why not? What good is it to me? I mean, what? I'm doing this every night. I get maybe, like last week at one point, I did pretty well on one show. I can't remember what show that was. But basically, I get about 200 people a night last week, throughout the day. No, that's not a lot. I used to get 500.
Where on Gabnet?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that because people are going outside, they're not trapped inside with the COVID scare and all these other things that.
Yeah, but these were numbers I was getting before COVID. And I'm just, why am I doing this? Why? What's the reason? I mean, why am I knocking my head against a wall?
Now 6 years, 7 years, you've been doing this, right?
The 76, yeah, the 7th year.
Yeah, and I've pretty much participated almost the whole time.
Yeah, I would say.
You know that a very nice guy called me up the other day, said he listened to the show.
Mm-hmm.
He owns some buildings in Berkeley and Oakland, and he says he needs floor covering. I actually may be getting a job because of GabNet.
Mm.
And he says he loves.
Do I get a finder's fee or anything like that?
It's in the mail.
Oh, it's in the mail. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you've been getting all those GabNet checks.
That's true. Don't tell anybody else; they'll get jealous.
They'll get jealous that you've been getting all those GabNet bucks. They say GabNet bucks right on them.
Yeah, I know. It's there. We used to have a guy that was a very colorful guy who would do our buying for our co-op, and his name was Sandy Mishkin, and he was such a tough buyer that the reps used to just sweat going into his office, and we used to get when you go to the convention, you were able to buy TVs and stuff. You'd get little script, and they were called Mishkin bucks. And so that's where I came up with the idea of GabNet bucks, was plagiarizing the Mishkin buck idea. And but I got tired of getting TV sets and those earphones I had, the red ones. What were they called? Beats. Those sunglasses, all sorts of junk. Now I just get T-shirts for the guys, but Mishkin bucks was where the idea for GabNet bucks came from.
Yeah. So anyway, so I just go, why am I doing this? What's the reason? I'm sitting here right now and I'm waiting for people to line up to be on the show. Once you say goodbye, and there's nobody.
Huh?
Nobody. Zero. Zilcho. So why am I doing this?
Well, I understand. Maybe people have to realize that they need to get online or in the queue before.
It's very disheartening. And then last week, I think maybe we had 5 people a night tops.
Yeah.
And I could say, well, it was Labor Day week. The people, it slows down and everything. But right now, I don't see anybody there. So why the fuck am I doing this show?
It's a casualty of Trump.
Well, I mean, I have to admit that when Trump was around, the show was more exciting. Because, but it was kind of bad excitement, Yeah.
Negative input.
Yeah, negative. If all you're going to do is argue about this guy for 4 years, that can get a little exhausting.
Yeah.
But I agree with Will Durst, who you'll hear it when I finally play the interview I did the other day with him, when he says that his big problem is that Biden is boring. He's not even good for comedians. Trump was. Yeah. Trump gave comedians a lot to talk about, but and jokes to make, but that was it. So.
Yeah, I understand. And that's why stand-up comedians are lucky that there's the clubs really aren't open. In the
listen, Will's lucky he got a stroke when he did. Really, I'm serious. Yeah.
He had a different kind of thing. He used to do a show with Willie Brown, and they. They would talk about the politics of the day, and I think it was,
Well, he only did that once in a while. He had done a radio show for about 6 months with Willie Brown.
Yeah, that's
a job actually that I was offered and I turned down.
Really?
Yeah, my old boss, Ed Krampf, said, we're looking for somebody to do a morning show. Just casual conversation, expecting maybe I would pick up on it. And he said, we're willing to pay a lot of money. And I'm going, well, if I know of anybody, I'll let you know, because I'm thinking I'm at Sirius XM, and that's a walk in the park. I could have that job for the next 20 years. I was wrong, but had I taken that job, I probably would have been out of the business much earlier than I was. So
9 years in any radio job is a long time.
well, yeah, but there are people who stay at radio stations for 30 years.
Yeah, they're few and far between.
Now, but back then, no. But I mean, I read the showbiz news, the radio news, all access and stuff, and every day somebody's getting fired and somebody's getting hired.
Yeah.
And it's just like the turnover is incredible, just incredible. So,
Did they give you anything for being nominated for the Radio Hall of Fame? Did they
a
give you
plaque or
You did?
no,
Nothing, huh?
no, nothing. They just used me. Basically, that's what happened. They used me, and they used all the other people there too. And the winners shouldn't have won. They were not. They were not significant in aiding and moving forward the medium.
Yeah, I was.
And I'm not saying that because they won, folks, or because I'm bitter. I just think that the fix was in. I know that at least one of the guys who was on the committee was a guy who worked for the group, the broadcast group that they belonged to.
Yeah. You think that they were able to fix the vote by getting their listeners?
Oh yeah, I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. I'm sure they got their listeners to, write in and vote 20 times and do whatever it took. Okay, but that's unfair to do that because, or even take that into consideration, because I don't have a radio program on the air right now. Sally Jesse Raphael doesn't have a program on the air right now. We can't compete with that if you're going to make it a popularity contest. But if you're not going to make it a popularity contest, but you're going to say, here's who we're inducting into the Radio Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
I mean, they just at the 100th anniversary of radio or something, decided to initiate about 30 other people into the Broadcast Hall of Fame. And they finally got around to Barry Gray. Well, Barry Gray's been dead for 30 years. Would have been nice if they had given it to him while he was still alive. And he certainly deserved it. And they still haven't gotten around to Don Sherwood.
But was Don Sherwood local?
Oh
only?
yeah. Well, in those days, all stations were local. All people were local.
Well, another topic is my gym. Do you know what a dunk tank is? Where they put you in and they see how much body fat you have?
Well, I don't know about that. No.
Oh, this trailer comes by and it's got this tank in it, and you get in a pair of shorts and you get in the tank, you let all the air out of your lungs, and you sink down to the bottom of the tank. And the amount of water that's displaced, they can tell you how much body fat you have. And now I weigh 218. I have 72 pounds of body fat. I am 31% fat.
Well, I'm about 218, 220. Yeah. But and I have a little bit of fat on me, but,
6 something.
What?
You're 6
I'm
foot
6 feet tall. Yeah. How tall are you? 5'8". Yeah.
I'm not a leprechaun, but I'm close.
Hey, listen, there are 2 people waiting to come on. Do you mind if I have them join us here? Okay.
Absolutely.
Let me just do it so they don't have to wait. Okay. And it would be Vernon Nunn, and there's Jeff. Okay. Here comes Vernon. Or as he's better known, Ann Nunn, or Anonymous. No, something like that.
There was a movie, I think it was a Clint Eastwood movie, where the villain used the name No One, uh, None. Do you remember which movie that was? It was
No.
one of the Clint Eastwood cop movies.
No. No. What Clint Eastwood cop movie? There were a
Well,
ton of Clint Eastwood cop movies.
I love those Clint Eastwood cop movies.
They were okay. They
Hey,
were all right.
I'm watching. What's the program? Blacklist. I'm on to the third season. Seen that one?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of lame.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It's piquing my interest.
Yeah, no. Oh, here we go. Here comes Alan. I guess he decided to join us tonight. And Tony is joining us. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Hello, Tony. How are you?
Was that? Oh, Biden was in my area, about 10 minutes away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wasn't that far. I think he was in Woodside where the family died, where they flooded in the illegal basement.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he decided to come and hang out and, see everybody. Why isn't he in Washington getting money passed,
know.
instead of these PR trips that he's making? I always hate it when presidents do that.
I was shocked he came, actually.
Louisiana get hit hard.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh, yeah, he went down to Louisiana, too.
Did he?
Yeah, yeah.
you know what he's saying. It's kind of interesting. I don't think people are going to be very happy with it. He's saying that maybe they shouldn't build back in the areas that are low-lying and are getting hit because of climate
Well, that's
change,
kind of hard to do in New Orleans.
because of the French Quarter and
Well,
things
it's
like
because everything is low-lying in that, and it has always had that problem. That's why they built the levees in the first place.
What he's saying is probably going to be unpopular with those people that live in those areas, but it's maybe not a bad idea that, if you're going to rebuild, why keep rebuilding and then every few years you get hit again? I don't know.
I think we should do something about global warming.
Climate change.
Yeah, climate change, global warming, whatever you want to call it. I mean,
Don, with the windmill,
yeah, no, but I mean, that's your big problem. We've been warning about it for years, and a lot of your pals have gone, "Oh, there's no such thing as global warming."
So, let's say everybody in America gets on board and says,
Let me put it
we're-
this way, and I know you probably hate them, but 98% of the scientists in the world, am I right on this, Vernon? All pretty much agree on global warming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, except they call it climate change because global warming has a different connotation to some of the right wingers.
Oh, okay. So
They hold a snowball on the House floor and say, well, how could we have global warming if it snowed yesterday?
No, Vernon, 30 years ago, they were saying that the planet is cooling. And then they were saying that the
I never heard that.
ozone was evaporating.
I never heard that.
I never heard that.
I never heard that.
Yeah,
You were the only one who got the memo on that one.
really.
Scientists did, on one thing Phil said, scientists were concerned about the ozone hole down in Antarctica. And that's the reason that they got rid of a lot of these fluorocarbons that they were using as propellants.
Now, but there's a lot of countries that use things that would be bad for the climate. China, Malaysia. I mean, there's a ton of countries that are creating India.
China is doing everything it can to get away from the way they have been and becoming more responsible where climate change is concerned.
So why not fight for climate change in these areas?
No, but they are doing it in China.
No, they're not doing
Yes,
it.
they are. Well, don't tell. You can't just wipe it away by saying no. They're not doing
Right.
it. No, they are doing it. Because the Chinese won't do anything if it isn't to their benefit, and this is to their benefit.
I I don't get that from.
What do you mean?
Otherwise, these artificial islands they've been building in the South China Sea would be flooded.
What do you mean? Oh, because you.
The Chinese have been building artificial islands out in the South China Sea so that they can claim more of the South China Sea as their territorial waters. And if they didn't do something about the rising tides and everything, they would just flood their own islands that they're making.
Do these islands float?
No.
No.
They're islands, Phil.
Well, they could be floating islands.
No, they're not floating islands.
Yeah. No.
Well, I see that there's a lot of countries.
You know, it's
that-
funny. It's funny, but Alan actually has a look on his face like you just farted.
Alan and I were talking about that today. You know that you can't fart. If you fart, you can have a problem, especially.
You turn 50. Never trust a fart.
But I just look at all of these countries where they have all of this pollution, and even in South America, and they're blaming the U.S. for
Well, we are a huge country, and we have a huge amount. Wait a minute, let me finish. We have a huge amount of carbofluorine and whatever that we put out with, more than a lot of other countries. I mean, you go down to some of the South American countries, they're poor countries. They can't afford the kind of technology that we have or the kind of stuff we put into the air. We're a very big country, and we are one of the biggest. There is a percentage, isn't there, Vernon, that's been out there about what percentage of aiding climate. I can't talk tonight. Aiding.
Yeah, I think the thing you're searching for is that the United States is one of the largest burners of hydrocarbons in the world.
Okay.
Except for the ozone layer, getting rid of that. One of the things that they did, a big thing that was eaten into the ozone, was refrigerant. The refrigerant 12 and refrigerant 22, which was auto, home, and central air. Refrigerants were chlorofluorocarbons, and they changed to the newer stuff, which is they threw a hydrogen atom in there, and it's hydrochlorofluorocarbon. Say that 3 times quick. Anyhow, it's supposed to be not depleting the ozone. And China was a big producer of chlorofluorocarbons, CFC for short, and they changed over. So good for them.
Yeah.
I remember driving around LA where you couldn't see any mountains. It was just filthy. And now, the air.
When was that, Phil?
In the 70s.
In the 70s. You know how many years ago that was? That's 50 years ago, Phil.
So in 50 years.
In 50 years, they've cleaned a lot of that up.
And so,
New York, you used to get to a point where you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. When I came back here, the air is clear. I can look out my window every day and not see smog.
But now California has wildfires.
Now, the worst air pollution we've had here in the last couple of years was because of the wildfires in California.
Why don't you guys ship us some of your water?
I didn't move to California until the early 70s. I don't remember if we had wildfires back then, didn't we?
No.
Not like this.
Not as often.
Not as often, not as big.
This is also an effect of climate change, Phil.
Yep.
According to your buddy Phil, it's only because they weren't raking the floor of the forest enough.
Yeah. Well, it's true.
Well, because Donald Trump is a major scientist.
He was. He was going to change.
I'm laughing my ass off.
He was going to change the direction in 2017 of a tornado or a storm, where he was near Florida in the south, and he drew the path with one of those felt pens on a chart. And of course, it wasn't anywhere near that. That was funny.
Well,
it shows how the smartest man in the world thinks.
Yes, he is. I was talking earlier. I don't necessarily want to get off this climate change thing, but I'm going to a gym, and I'm really feeling good.
It all gets back to Phil.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I
Well,
wanted to,
that means you could be dead any day now, because everybody I know who works out eventually has all kinds of problems.
I work out every Tuesday. I help build a house for Habitat.
Well, that's different. That's a different
That's
kind
great.
of exercise.
That's great. Good job. Good job, Vernon.
Yeah, but that's a different kind of exercise you're getting there.
I'm a vendor for Habitat. I put in their carpet for several places that they built.
And then they paid you.
Yeah, they paid.
Yeah, well, I
How's that
volunteer.
volunteering?
I guess something.
You gave him a decent price, I'd imagine, right?
No, he's Jewish. What are you kidding?
It's hard. It's hard to deal with them because you have to pay a prevailing wage, and the amount of paperwork it takes to get paid because they're prevailing wage. You know what prevailing wage is?
No, what is that?
In California, no.
Well, they set the prices based on what the union wages would be, and you have to break down the installer's pay based on how many hours they put in, and they have to be paid that plus vacation plus retirement plus all these other things that make it very expensive to do their work. But a lot
Can
of
you turn the job down, Phil, or no? Say if you don't want to get involved with that, can you just say I don't want it?
yeah, but I know how to do it, so there's no reason to turn it down, because a lot of people do turn it down because it's too complicated. So there aren't as many people bidding on the job, and it makes it a little more profitable.
Now I want to ask Phil this question. This is one. So how's the election, the recall, going out in California?
Oh, is he gone or what? What's going on out there?
I think Newsom, they're saying that he's up 20%.
It's still counting.
And so there may be no recall and therefore no election. But on the other hand, he's got Kamala Harris coming to support him, and I don't think she's very popular. So maybe he's going to lose votes because.
No, I don't think so.
Wishful
I think so
thinking,
either.
Phil. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, I think the liberals like Kamala Harris, and he's a liberal, and
Most of California is liberal.
Actually, it's only the big metropolitan
Well,
area.
they in fact they liked her enough to make her senator.
But, yep.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, so
The
apparently
governor is a Republican, right?
No.
no,
he's a
he's a
Democrat.
Democrat.
Oh, yeah.
Newsom.
Gavin Newsom won by 20 points when he was elected. And
he
it
may
pissed
do it
off the
again.
Republicans so bad they started a recall that same day.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, he is 10.1% to the good, and that's according to 538.com, which is what's his name, that guy who always does a very good job
Nate.
of, huh?
Nate something.
Yeah, Nate. We'll just call him Nate.
Nate
like
Silverman.
Nate Silverman.
Is that likely voters or?
No, that's an actual. Yeah, I guess it's likely voters.
You should look at it, Phil. They early on said Trump would lose the 2020 election, and they were right.
Yeah.
Fix when they said
And it
that.
used to be that you would look at all these different polls that he uses to make up his poll, and there was one, I can't remember, it was a really right-wing one. And it said remove was like 10% or something, plus 10. Now every one of them is keep.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So I don't think you're going to see Newsom getting kicked out of office.
Newsom has raised $73 million as a comparison to Elder's $13 million. So he's got some big money. Newsom has some big money support behind him.
Well, he should. You know,
Yeah.
the whole thing is, you got to admit, Phil, it's stupid. Okay? Just, you know, is it worth $300 million to the state of California to go through this nonsense?
No.
You know.
If it's so wonderful, how come it's only for governor? Why couldn't they do a recall on senators? Why couldn't they do recall on Congress people?
Yeah, why don't they start with Matt Gaetz?
I think the first thing that should be done as
He's
soon
in
as
Florida.
this nonsense is over with
all
is
right.
do away with the recall thing. It's just insane.
Now,
The only
you
thing
want to
that he-
recall somebody from California, you want to start with Kevin McCarthy.
Well, but if let me say this about recalling, that if you're going to have a recall situation, good, go ahead, have a recall situation, but don't do it as a recall. Do it as a what do you call it?
Vote of no confidence.
A vote of no confidence, or just you know,
Vote him out of office and when his term comes up.
yeah, you know.
It's a lot less expensive.
You had, it was, I'm out of it tonight. I don't know why I can't think straight. But we had a lot of people, I don't know where I was going with this. Forget it. I'm really in bad shape. What?
Newsom has done damage to the state of California.
Oh, and
really?
COVID hasn't?
No, this is not a whataboutism, Vernon. I'm asking, has Newsom damaged California in the ways that they're claiming? I guess homelessness.
I don't think he's responsible.
Homelessness was here before he came along.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what has he done to eradicate it?
What
You're
can
never
he
going to
do?
eradicate homelessness.
Nothing.
What do you do? How would you do it, Phil?
Well, I would start by helping the
Monday morning quarterbacking, I'm asking him to do here. Go ahead.
by actually creating help for the homeless that gets them off the street and
Gee, that's an unusual idea, Phil.
not done.
Huh?
Is they're spending? I think they spent 73,000. Is that the number, Alan, per homeless person in San Francisco?
Somewhere around there, 73, 78. It kind of surprised me.
Now, how much of that money actually goes to the homeless people? Very little.
Very
The-
little. It's housing them during COVID.
Yes, but most of it is spent on administration to.
No, most of it's spent on the hotels they're staying in.
No, most of them aren't in hotels. They're on the
Yeah,
street.
they are. Yeah, they are. This 78, it was just news today, is what you probably heard. And what they're doing is they've rented a bunch of hotel rooms, like they have in other states. And San Francisco says now that they have 74% or 75% fully vaccinated, it's time to, for the homeless to move on, to find them other housing and not take up the hotels. In the hotels they're staying in, it's costing them a lot of money every month to house these people and feed them and everything else.
Before COVID, it was about 60,000 a year.
I never heard. I don't know.
And I've done work for companies that make their money by administrating programs in San Francisco. I did floor covering work, but so I sort of saw what these people were doing, and they have an industry around homelessness. So why eradicate homelessness if you have an industry that supports all these other people? It's kind of like drugs. A big pharma, they don't want to cure the common cold. There's too much money to be made in getting cold medicine off the shelves and into people's tummies.
I agree with Phil for once. And what about private prisons too, Phil? For-profit prisons.
That's the same kind of thing as as an industry that's created, and they don't want to lose their trough to feed at. So and it just becomes bigger and bigger with more administration and more.
So one point for Newsom, and Phil just made a point. Newsom got rid of most of the for-profit prisons in the state early in his thing.
Saw how much profit there was in it, so he said, "Hey, the state could be making."
Right. So we're in agreement that Newsom's done something good in your book.
I don't think any of them are good.
Wait a minute, but you just said he didn't do anything good, and now you're saying things he did that were good.
asked Alan, what has Newsom done that has damaged the state? I didn't say he didn't do anything good. But we're having.
Well, I think certainly his biggest no, and the biggest thing that he's responsible for is feeding the coffers of the French Laundry.
One night.
Yeah.
That wasn't him. That was the lobbyists that he kowtows to because they paid for the dinner. Do you think
It's no different for Trump when he was president?
I don't think presidents can take that.
Oh,
kind of-
really? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Well, what?
They just never have gone out and tried to find out how much Trump was doing. I mean, I don't think he paid for anything while he was in office.
You know, I understood that presidents weren't even allowed to have cash, that they couldn't buy anything. Is that-
Why?
Where do they buy things?
Well,
Where? Tell me, Phil. I bet if you put $20 in Biden's pocket right now, okay, and come back a month from now, that $20 will still be there.
yeah.
In God, it should say on the top of the money, "In God We Trust." Trump pays cash.
No, they can't even drive a car. Once they're a president, they're not allowed to drive a
Right?
car.
No, they're not.
They're allowed to
The
drive
fact that Seinfeld did, not Seinfeld, but Seinfeld did one of his people in cars getting coffee with
Yes.
Trump, with
Obama.
Obama, and they had a car, and he said, "You want to drive?" And he says, "I can't. They won't let me."
Yep.
Now,
Then they had to go around that oval in front of the White House.
Biden drove a car at the Ford plant. It was a publicity.
Yeah,
for,
but that was on a track. Yeah.
Or like a Disney ride.
No, it was a Lightning pickup truck,
Yes.
the electric pickup truck.
Yep.
Yeah.
What it was.
Have you seen
You
the
know,
Mustang? It looks like a Tesla. The electric Ford Mustang.
Yeah.
Marco.
Do you notice who's doing the voice on those commercials?
Who? You?
What's his name? The black actor that did Luther.
Oh,
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. I could swear it's his voice. You know.
but and you know the cars. I'm in an apartment building, and there's a big couple of levels of parking in the apartment. And this morning I went to get in my car, and I hear these tires squealing, but no engine. So what's happening is there's these silent machines running around called hybrids and electric cars. And, you can't hear them. Recording in there so that you can.
They should have some kind of noise in there so that people can hear them coming.
Right.
You know.
A lot of people get ran over by Priuses. They didn't hear it.
You know, there's a car called a Toyota Mirai, and that's a hydrogen car. And I've been kind of intrigued by the hydrogen. I love my car, and I wouldn't sell it unless I couldn't drive.
What kind is it?
It's a Toyota FJ Cruiser. It looks like a 1970s Toyota or a Jeep or something.
Is it hybrid or what?
V6. It's actually, I've had it 10, 11 years. I love this car. I mean, there isn't another car on the road that I would want to drive. They don't make it anymore. It's a model that is
Collector's item.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're worth at least $10,000.
Oh, so it's a PT Cruiser is the one you're talking about.
No.
Oh, no.
No, the FJ Cruiser was a limited edition
Okay.
sport utility vehicle that
Oh,
Toyota
okay.
made.
All right. I didn't.
4-wheel drive. They're neat. They're neat vehicles.
What do they call those cars that they have at the car show that they never intend to make? It's not an experimental, but they're just making
Prototype.
Prototype. Yeah.
It's a prototype, and then they decided to make it, which is
I don't know if
Toyota
anybody remembers this, but I was a kid, so my father used to get a job every year as a musician at a thing that GM did. and it was a traveling show that went around the country called Motorama. Does anybody remember that?
I know that name.
Yeah, yeah. And they would come to town and they would show you all the futuristic cars that they were coming up with, none of which ever showed up in the dealerships. Never.
They changed. They decided to make heart valves.
Yeah, but that's what the FJ Cruiser was. It was one of those futuristic cars, which was a throwback on a model from the 50s and 60s and 70s, and they modernized it, and everybody said, "Oh, we love it." And then they started making it, and it didn't sell. And it was just the wrong car at the wrong time. Now they stopped making them in 2015, and everybody wants it. I maybe 2-3 times a week, somebody leaves a card on my windshield. Do you want to sell? And no, I wouldn't. But the Toyota Mirai is a like 3 places in the Bay Area where you can get the hydrogen fuel. And if the Toyota Mirai wasn't so ugly, I would think about getting one. But,
Right.
Right. Where you can get hydrogen gas station around the corner from us. You can get hydrogen.
Really?
Just go more than 300 miles and stuck. How are you going to get back?
Yeah.
They're around.
I just bought a new car, which is a hybrid.
Yeah. What'd you get?
And it was a Honda CRV, which is kind of the same car I had before, except I had 280,000 miles on it, and I wanted the opportunity for save gas, the hybrid.
Yeah.
What gas in Connecticut? In California, I'm paying about $4.70 for regular.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You better off
Absolutely.
walking.
You're better off walking.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I was thinking about getting a car that uses water.
It's
Well,
309.
I haven't-
309 in Kentucky.
I haven't owned a car since 2003.
What are they charging in Connecticut?
Can I finish what I was saying?
The
No, forget it.
this stuff I get like $3
Free. And Alex
a
has a
gallon.
car and paid for gas since 2003, right?
I haven't had a car since 2003. Yeah. If I needed a car, I would rent one. And now I'm afraid to rent them because I'm afraid I don't remember how to drive.
No,
I
you
can't
don't.
remember.
drive themselves, Alex.
I can't remember how to do this show. What?
They'll drive themselves.
There's been rental cars that have gone out of business, and now renting a car is very expensive, much more than it used to be, and you can't even get them. People go to Hawaii, and everybody rents a car. Not right now. You can't get them. And rent. Has anybody else heard about the shortage of car rentals?
Well,
I heard they were.
Hmm?
Oh,
Go
no,
ahead.
I heard they were having a problem with a car plant. They can't get chips or something in cars.
That's
right.
right. That's
Got
right.
it.
Yeah. They can't. I guess the rare earth.
No, it has nothing to do with
No. It has to do with COVID. COVID. Most of the chips come out of China. COVID hit that area hard. They had to close down the factories, and they've never caught up.
Actually, it's not the one in China. There is
No.
one in Taiwan.
Okay.
It's NSI or something like that, and they are the main chip maker in the world. Okay, and they were main chip maker in the world, and they're way behind. That's the problem.
Yeah, Ford just announced today that they're only going to build their fast-moving vehicles. Like the Ford F-150 and the van that they use for service, and they're hiring cars that they make something on. It isn't worth wasting the chips on a
Right.
on a little.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jack's back, folks,
Jack's back. Hi, Jack.
and they were main chip maker in the world, and they're way behind. That's-
Kind of like we just heard that a minute ago.
Yeah, we just heard that a minute ago. Jack.
Hey,
And we might hear it again a minute from now.
You know what would be cool if they stopped using all these chips and computers and started making cars simple again? so that
Probably like
Yeah,
those
like
one.
that's
Probably
like
like the
that's
one,
going to happen.
like the one on the Flintstones.
Yeah, you just move your feet, Phil.
Yeah, where you just move your feet.
You go back to Los Angeles and see the smog in the air again.
Good shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe the Army should go back to the cavalry.
yeah, that's true. They should have swords.
Yes, Jack.
Hey there, I just want to say I'm back, but also heard you guys talking about gas prices. I want to make you sick. Our gas here in the part of the country that I live in, near Dallas, right now, and this has gone up, is $2.70 a gallon.
That's good.
Now, why do you think that is? Is it the taxes in the state of Texas?
No, they make the gas there. They make the oil there.
Refineries. The refineries are there.
I got Chevron in my backyard, Shell, all of the
No, you have the refineries, but you don't have the pumping.
What's the difference?
Quite a bit.
Big difference. Big difference.
Well, if they refine it, they have to,
Yeah,
truck
but
it
they
out.
don't. But they don't have to. They don't have to send it all the way to California to get refined. Where you have to get it sent to California to get it refined. Am I right, guys? Am I wrong about this?
I don't know.
That's it. That's it. There are near Dallas. There
Well,
are
That's not
3
exactly.
refineries that I know of.
Yeah.
One of the largest
Well,
ports in the world for importing petroleum is Houston.
Yeah, all you got to do is drive through California Central Valley, and Southern California, you'll see oil pumps, not like they are in Texas, but they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got the offshore. Well, we had
Yeah,
the
the offshore stuff.
You also in California, you have something they probably don't have in Texas because you have a governor down there who doesn't give a shit about such things. But in California, you have taxes upon taxes upon taxes.
We're paying
At-
close to 70 cents a gallon in taxes right now.
Is it 70 cents a gallon? I
Close
thought it was
to,
more than that. I thought it was a larger percentage.
at the federal or the state.
Federal.
Federal. Well, I wonder what the state tax is.
I don't know, probably $1 a gallon by the time you're done.
Hey, but look, you guys have decent highways.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Well, the thing
Not
is,
in the Bay Area.
the last time I was in the Bay Area, I was still surprised. I live near a major highway that is a U.S. highway. Came along during the 50s, and you can't hardly drive your car on it anymore because it is so badly kept.
Where's this at?
Okay, I thought you were going to say it was so filled with people.
Well, it's filled with people.
Yeah, California, the highways are not in good condition, and
Oh.
and the reason we voted for these tax increases on gas was because they said they were going to fix the highways, and
Well, fixing a highway is not an easy venture. Like on the, I live off of a minor state highway that goes, like just a few blocks from my house. They have been rebuilding that for 20 years. And this is supposedly a state that we say we can get it done. Well, that's a damn lie. There's hardly a decent freeway in an area of, we're right at about 7 million people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I can't think of a major highway that isn't in bad repair around here.
Yeah, you ever watch those guys working on the highway, or even for any of these government projects? You see 6 guys standing around a hole. Each of them has a shovel in one hand, a coffee cup in the other, and a cigarette in their mouth. How
Well,
much?
I don't see that here, Phil.
Wow.
I don't see it here. What I do see is a lot of streets and highways that need repair that never get it.
Now,
US 35, which is the highway that was built here around me, and I live about less than 2 miles from it. They have been working on it practically as long as I have been in Texas, and that will be 51 years next month.
Yeah. You know, the Golden Gate Bridge, they start painting it on one end, and
Well, they've been doing that for years, Phil.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid, they start at one end, they go to the other end, then they go back to the beginning, and they do it again, because it takes them about 2.5, 3 years, I think, to do the whole bridge, or maybe even longer than that. And by the time they finish it, because of where it is, the paint is eroded and so on and so forth. So they have to keep on painting it.
By the way,
I-
California is only the second highest gas tax.
Oh, where's the first? New York?
Nope. Pennsylvania,
Really?
Really? Wow.
58.6 cents a gallon in Pennsylvania. In California, it's 53.3. In New York, it's 40.45.
Wait a minute. The amount in California isn't both state and federal, is it?
No, that's just the state tax.
Like just the state. Okay, so we're over $1 a gallon.
Vernon, what is the tax in Texas?
They don't list Texas. They just have the top 5. And the top 5 are Pennsylvania, California, Washington State, New Jersey, and New York.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know
good
it
thing
must
you
be
don't drive,
low
Alex.
because when I
The average is 28.85 cents per gallon. The average gas tax, all states averaged.
What I was about to say, I know it's pretty low because when I came here, there were pretty good highways throughout the state. Some of the best highways that I've seen in the South, and I've lived most of my adult life in southern states, and I thought, damn, this is doing pretty good. But not anymore.
When
The
did you
lowest
get
gas
there? In the
taxes.
1950s?
The lowest gas tax is Alaska, and then Hawaii, and then Virginia.
Not surprising. You know, Alaska is a major oil producing state now. I have a former girlfriend that lives in lives in Alaska.
They had to go that far to get away from you? Is it?
Yeah, kind of. But she gets, or I think she still gets this. I haven't talked to her in quite some time. But she gets a tax, or rather a check from the Alaska government for the oil production that they do in Alaska. She gets a piece of the tax.
Yeah, there is money that goes back to the citizens from the tax that's put on oil that they make money and they turn it back to the people.
Yeah,
Texas and Oklahoma is only 20 cents a gallon state tax.
Oh, really? Well, they believe in oil. You know, it's kind of like when I used to go through the South and you could buy cigarettes for 10 cents a pack, you know, because those states produce tobacco. Meanwhile,
they're down $10 a pack.
it's amazing. I mean, I'm glad I quit smoking when I did. I couldn't afford to smoke now.
I quit when it was 50 cents for Marlboros.
I used to smoke those Sherman Cigaratellos, and they were $1 a box.
You know, they used to arrest people with the Shermans because they would lace them with PCP. And if you ask them, they were high, and you'd say, what do you...
Lace them with, why would I lace mine with PCP?
It's angel dust, isn't it?
What are you on? And the guy says, I just had a Sherm, because...
I never heard of that.
I
Why
think
would they
mine
pick
is gone.
Shermans, a particularly expensive cigarette,
Oh, they're expensive.
to put a particularly expensive drug into? Wouldn't you use a cheap cigarette as your delivery system?
Phil used Marlboros.
Yeah, it was called. They'd say I was smoking Sherm, and then I arrested
This from the guy who feels that today our president was at Camp David.
Yes.
Yeah, when he wasn't. When he was in New Jersey and in
East Elmhurst.
East Elmhurst, yes.
10 minutes from my
In New
house,
Jersey
Monday.
and New York.
By Tony's house.
Alex, don't be filled with reality. Let him be in that never land that he prefers.
Right, right.
Well, yeah. Okay.
And I don't know if you could consider Camp David a vacation.
Is
Well,
it really
That
true?
really is a secondary White House. So when you go there, you've got to work all day. If you're going on vacation, don't you want to go somewhere where you don't have to work?
Yeah, like it's warm too.
Like Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Mar-a-Lago.
go press conference at Camp David? He's sitting at a big conference
It does look lost.
meeting. It was kind of like Gabnet, you know. He was looking at a TV, but you know he could have been in his pajamas. You know,
Well, every
Well,
president in your lifetime and mine has held meetings at Camp David.
I don't know. Trump mainly did it at, like Vernon said, at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, but that's
in
because he was
between
getting a little,
golf games.
that's because he was getting a little kickback from what he was charging.
Or Bedminster. He liked to go to Bedminster too.
but prior to what was it 58? Who was there? Eisenhower. That's when Camp David was called Camp David because it was.
Well, it was
Yep.
named after his son.
Yes. Did it exist prior to Eisenhower? The facility?
Yeah.
Call it.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it called then?
I don't remember. I mean, you know, I was a kid, but I remember my grandfather saying, "Oh, they're meeting at that place just outside of Washington that used to
Was
be
it-
a military camp."
I think it was it Idlewild?
No, that's an airport in New York. Or
Yeah,
Jersey.
Idlewild was
Called JFK now.
JFK. Yeah.
That was made famous on Car 54. Where are you?
Yeah, well, I mean, Idlewild, yeah, because it became JFK in honor of JFK once he died. What did we name in honor of JFK that we took the name back?
Cape Canaveral.
That's right.
Oh, that's a good one.
So
It became
Camp David
it was Cape
ori-
Kennedy for a while, and then they took it back, and it's now Cape Canaveral again.
Camp David was originally built in 1938 and was originally called High HI slash Catterson.
Catoctin.
CATO.
Catoctin.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
How's that
Yeah.
pronounced?
Catoctin. High Catoctin.
High Catoctin? Sounds like some kind of drug you'd take.
Yeah.
It sounds like some kind of digestive
It
relief.
sounds like something. What do you call it? What's that company that was doing all the bad drugs? Purdue. Sounds like a drug Purdue
Purdue
would do.
Pharma.
Yeah.
Don't
It was
mention.
actually built by the WPA.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't mention drugs around me after what I went through last week.
Yeah. You you still have a bump on your head there? I can see.
Yes, I finally took the Band-Aid off today. The reason you guys haven't heard me since last Tuesday.
I don't
Is
think
once-
I don't think they heard you Tuesday, did they?
Yeah, I did a show Tuesday.
Did you do a show Tuesday? Okay.
And Wednesday evening, after I was having dinner, I stood up and I told Donna I'm feeling dizzy. And the next thing I know, for the second time in 2 weeks, I was on the floor, and this time I hit my head on the dining room table.
Wow.
Wound up in the hospital for 3 days with a contusion.
But here's the best part about you in the hospitals.
Yes,
They couldn't find you one.
that's right. That's right.
They finally had to take you and have you stay at Scott's place.
Yeah, I was 35 miles from home because there were no available hospital rooms in my county, in Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they checked Tarrant County, where Fort Worth is, but I didn't have I stayed in an emergency room all night the first night I was there, and they didn't get me to a patient room until the afternoon of the next day.
And what was the excuse for this?
Well, the excuse for the rooms,
Yeah.
no availabilities because of the COVID-19 thing.
Yeah.
But Alex Bennett, whose mother said he could have been a doctor if he had studied a little harder.
My mother never said that.
She didn't. My mother said that to me.
That's another bad Jew joke by you.
No, wait a minute. I told you, my mother said that to me. She wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah.
When I decided I was going to be a radio announcer, she said, "Why don't I tell my friends that you're a piano player in a whorehouse in the oil patch in Texas? It's more respectable."
Yeah.
But Alex Bennett told me when I told him what had happened, I'd gotten dizzy. I thought I was going to pass out and didn't pass out this time. He said, "Have them check your medications." And sure enough, for 11 years, I have taken 2 drugs that will lower your blood pressure, make you dizzy, make you pass out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Lipitor or no?
And
Were you on Lipitor?
no, I was on lisinopril.
Blood pressure medicine.
I was on lisinopril, and I was, and I'm still on metotropil, which is a.
You know why those drugs weren't good for you?
Why
Because
weren't they?
none of them sound like a word Jerry Lewis would say.
But
I missed the
And a
telephone
trouble.
that used to be on.
But the really funny thing is-
Riboflavin.
He used to sing the song at the end of the telephone.
But the really funny thing is, I have a cousin who's a pharmacist.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get home, I call her, and she says, "Well, tell me all the drugs you're on." And I said, "Well, they took me off the lisinopril because they said I really didn't need it. I've been taking it for 11 years." And I ran down the list. She says, "Well, I got news for you. There's one more that you're still on that can lower your blood pressure." So I'm seeing my doctor tomorrow.
Yeah.
Say, what the fuck is going on here? And the one I'm still on is the old man pee pill, Flomaxin.
Just
Flomax.
Flomax, yeah.
Flomax.
Yeah, well, the thing
Flomax.
is that's a problem with me. I've been taking this riboflavin. No, I've been taking what is it? Pregabalin. See, and I've been taking that, and then I've been taking a generic Flomax.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is it does lower your blood pressure, and I've been feeling kind of lightheaded and so on for the last week or so. And then I stopped it a couple of days ago, and today's the first day I haven't really felt lightheaded.
They took me off of the lisinopril that I was on
By the way, if you're a young person trying to listen to this program, I apologize. Go ahead.
We're doing a public service here, man.
Hey.
We're warning young people.
Lisinopril keeps my blood pressure under control.
Well, Phil was trying to say something, and Jeff wanted to say something.
Jack, I'm taking metropropol.
Yeah,
Your heart, isn't it?
yeah. See, I had a quad bypass.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let's talk to the expert on hearts.
Yeah,
Because-
Mr. Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeff.
You have to turn your mic on.
Mic on.
Mike, turn your mic on, Jeff.
I always do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, excuse me. But here's the question. All of you guys have heart problems.
I don't.
I'm okay.
At a different level or not. Either you have it now or it's coming in the
Oh, stop it.
Mama, I'm coming.
So here's the question.
You're just hoping because then you'll sell more of the pumping machine.
You go to see your cardiologist,
Yeah.
okay? And does he take out this little scope and he sticks it over your heart and checks your heart?
Well, I have my internist, my main doctor, the guy refers me everywhere, is also a cardiologist. And every couple of years he does a thing on me to check because I have a stenosis, but it's a very mild stenosis. He told me at the rate it's going, it'll be dangerous in 50 years, so don't worry about it. You know. And I said, well, I plan to make it that far.
So, Jeff, they have a name for that device. It's called a stethoscope.
Right. So do your doctors have one?
Yes.
Do they
I go
use
to my
one?
cardiologist.
No, they
twice-
just wear it around their neck to look like doctors.
I go to Kaiser. They don't have them.
So this-
That's doctor-assisted suicide, I heard.
So I have a new doctor, and I'm talking about a Jewish doctor with a yarmulke,
Wow.
You got a good one. That's what it is. I always look at what school.
but
it was.
no scope.
Oh.
Really?
Wow.
And Pam says to him, "Why the hell didn't you test his heart?" He says, "We don't do that anymore.
Really?
We have you all electronically connected."
Yeah.
Oh, this Phil's doctor.
Yeah, as long as you got a Wi-Fi signal, Jeff, you're okay.
I guess so.
Jeff, last month, before all of this stuff started happening to me,
Yes,
I
sir.
had a heart stress test with my cardiologist who said, "Golly, you've lost 35 pounds and your heart sounds better than I've ever heard it sound." And, you passed the whole thing. And this cousin of mine, who's the pharmacist, said, "You lost 35 pounds since the first of the year. That also lowered your blood pressure."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
You look a lot thinner.
Yeah, his face.
That's good.
oh yeah, Alex, so you will know this. I weigh only 15 pounds more than I weighed when I graduated from college now.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Oh, really? That's
I
good.
was
Not me.
Did you consciously go on a diet?
Well, what happened was, even though the governor of Texas said, "Go any damn where and die on your own," my wife said, "You shouldn't be going out and eating with your buddies for lunch 3 or 4 times a week."
So used to that.
So I stayed home.
Cut out the
And,
food.
for most of us old codgers, which Alex doesn't like for us to talk about, we start eating less anyway. And so I just started losing,
What do you mean I
weight
don't
without
like?
hardly
What do you mean
trying.
I don't like
God, I
talking
can't wait
about?
till that happens.
Me
to
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when they told me what I weighed last month, I said, well, wait a minute. I only weighed 13, 14 pounds
Well, I've
more
gained
than-
weight because of the procedure that I
Yeah,
had,
yeah.
and also because of the pregabalin. Yeah.
You're pretty, you're pretty tall. What are you, about 6'2"?
Who, me?
Jack.
Jack? How tall are you, Jack?
How tall am I?
Yeah.
6'1".
I wish I was 6'1".
Okay. So
But I
he's
got no
6'1".
neck.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about my body is I have no neck. I look like
I do, but it's getting to look like a turkey now.
yes. I know. Hey,
Getting-
hey, but I'd settle for that, man. I have no neck.
That's okay.
Really?
Yeah.
At least you're a foot taller than Tony.
Yeah, I wish I was 6'1". I'd take 6 feet.
How tall are you?
I'd be able to-
How tall
I'm
are you?
like 5'8", but I always wanted to be tall because I like to play basketball, and I can never really. Yeah,
Oh, wait,
everyone's
no,
always
forget
taller than me.
that.
No, but I mean, at least on the playground, if I was like, well, I wish I was about 5'11", it'd be a little better. It'd be easy to get your shot off.
I always thought it was a big. It was
dribble.
always cheating. I always thought of
Tony, I
basketball
feel sorry
teams to
for
get
you.
really
Well,
good.
maybe be a better ball handler because that's the only way you can really get open.
Yeah.
You can handle the ball, really
Hey,
get what
Tony,
you
I feel sorry for you, but I'm the only black guy in America who can't play basketball.
Are you doing anything like to play? Oh, I miss playing basketball. I just play 21 now, or just take.
But he's a great rapper. So
all right, that makes up.
Yeah, that makes up for it.
MC.
Anyway, here comes the theme song, and Jack, you better get out of here so that you can go do your
Hey,
show.
wait a minute. I worked all week to get back here. Now you're going to fire me? Catch you at the intersection in just a bit.
Okay, bye. Let's say goodbye to him. Hey, thank you, Phil, for joining us and staying with us, and we enjoy the pictures in back of you.
It's not.
That one I
Bet
especially.
we haven't heard half of what he said.
No.
good.
Yeah. And thanks to Vernon Nunn, and thank you to Jeff just disappeared. Goodbye to Alan, and goodbye to Tony. And hopefully we'll see you all back here
Yeah.
again tomorrow night, along with maybe even more people.
Maybe.
What? What? What are you
Maybe
gonna say?
what you were called? Charlie. He knew he was doing. I saw him on your show yesterday, Monday.
Who?
Charlie.
Oh,
He might be
Charlie
doing
Wallace?
baseball.
Oh, Charlie
Yeah.
Wallace. Yeah, well, we can only hope. Anyway, that's it. Everybody's going away, and I'll let me say goodbye to them. Goodbye, Vernon. Goodbye, Alan. Goodbye, Phil.
Goodbye, Alex.
Goodbye to Jeff. And goodbye to all of you. Everybody wave goodbye, except I think Jeff is frozen, so he's not going to. Oh, now he might wave goodbye. Anyway,
Give him 5 minutes,
that's it,
he'll wait.
ladies and gentlemen. That's our panel for tonight. They're all on their way out of here. Not a large panel, but a good panel and a good discussion and good talking and all of that. Hey, listen, tomorrow night, like 8:30, the sports guy posts his show. That's the Franchise MC, and then we'll be back again at 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Same time. Wait a minute, is it daylight time anymore? No, I think we're back to regular time. In any event, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? And on top of everything else, I really want you to go out and make sure you get vaccinated, okay? All right. Good night, everybody. Or at least wear a napkin over your face. See you later. Bye.